Yo, what's up guys, your boy vKilljoyy here, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different on CS. I'm going to be starting a sort of new series or playlist of CS School. And basically, I give you guys tips and tricks and help and advice and little bits of information which will help you guys become better at CS. I already did the Smokes and Nades series. That will sort of be included under this sort of thing. But today, I'm going to show you about plant spots. And where the best ones are to do it for every map, and where not to plant. So for each site there's going to be a primary and a secondary spot, and also a couple places where you could do if you have more time, and places where not to go. So I'm going to start with a site on Dust 2. So a lot of different places you can plant. One of them, if you have the time, this is really open, this one. If everyone's at B, all the enemies, you can plant top of this box by here. You can just about do it on that box by there as well. If you get right up into the corner, you can maybe, if you're lucky, if I get right by there, just about plant it by there. It's kind of uncommon for it to be by there, so that can be a bit awkward. But usually, if you have, if you guys are pushed up from long, you want to typically plant by here. This is your primary spot by here, and for a secondary spot, it will be sort of be behind here if you think they're coming from, short or whatever. But places you don't really want to go and plant are sort of like out in the open by here, unless you have time, and sort of like by here because you can get shot from CT down there. Anywhere in the open is really a bad place to plant on this site. Now for the B site, there are quite a few different places you could plant. One really common is if you push through tunnels. I often plant just right by here. Really good spot. People, you're covered from window and there, especially if you have a teammate to help you out. It can be good. I think there are tunnels you can plant on this side, so I'd say this is the primary. A lot of people often plant by here, and there maybe is a third one. A lot of people actually kind of plant by here. It's a bit in the open, a bit dangerous. One you don't really want to do is sort of just, anywhere out here. Up here is good because it's kind of concealed a bit if you're jumping from window. But anywhere like in the center of the site, unless you have a lot of time, do not do it. It's going to get you killed. But the great spot on this one is if you get right on the, right on that one, you can plant and it'll plant in there, or you can plant and it'll go into this room, this little box by here. So if you do it, over a little bit, I obviously didn't do it too well then, because I don't usually do this. It can be a bit awkward if you're running from here, you're just there like, where's the bomb? Where's the bomb? You probably won't be looking if you do it across a little bit, or maybe even on that one a bit more. You can do there, and yeah, those are the two really good spots to use for this map. So for Mirage, we're going to go into the A site first, and typical spots where people will plant, like just around by these sort of boxes here. They're good if you've got a smoke down at CT, and teammates are sort of watching the stairs and nectar jungle area, and even maybe one watching CT. You can get a good plant by there, a really good spot. And often you can also go by here as well if you want a little bit more cover. From that sort of area over there, but you can plant if you have a lot of time in a sort of open spot, but like here. This can be really good if you have got a lot of time, because then you can have a teammate on short, sort of like watching the bomb directly, and also someone CT, someone up by Tetris. Those are two really good spots where you can get a plant off. However, just if you sort of don't have really much time, then just running and planting right in the middle of the site is probably the worst thing to do. Planting sort of like in this location again is not a good thing to do if you don't have any time, because the teammate, they're gonna know you're by here maybe, and they'll just close you down and you'll be dead. So not a really good idea to do there if you know the enemies are close and know where you are. Now as for B, there's only really there are two main sort of spots for this map, for this site where people plant. Typically here. That's where a lot of people do. This is the default one usually, and then if that's not available, people go by here. This one's a bit hard though if you're trying to retake the site. If you have to try and stop the enemies from defusing, because they'll be here, you'll maybe be in there, and you won't be able to really get out in time. Can be a bit awkward to try and cover it from here. This one is used quite a lot. This corner. One not to do, never do unless you have like shed loads of time. Just go right in the middle. Or maybe even further back here would be even worse, because someone from apartments could get you, someone from short, someone from shop, and you're right in the open. Really not a good spot there. However, if you do have a little bit of time, a spot which nobody really plants in is by here. It's kind of hidden. I don't think you can plant when you're on top of these boxes here, which is a shame because these are some boxes which people don't even realize exist. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be a drop down of So just planting by here is a good spot if you have some time and want to mix it up a little bit. People probably won't expect it to be there and may catch them off guard. So yeah, that's a nice little spot. So on to Inferno. We're going to be looking at the A site first, and so the default spot for here would be right behind this box here. It's a nice safe plant if you push through apps and short, I do believe people call this. I'm pretty sure people call this sort of like short, top, mid. If you push through here, a lot of people just jump, plant by here if they can. It's a good spot. I think you can even get a plant off by here if you're up close enough. Yep, right by here. This can be a little bit dodgy, but primary one is here. Secondary one is then typically behind this corner or by these boxes here. However, a good one to do if you do have the time, and this one I don't often get, but if you get right on the edge, you can plant it and it'll fall off the edge of the ledge here. You can get it even tighter if you're a bit better, because then when they try to re-enter the site, like, oh, can't go by there. No, it's not by there, it's not by there. Where is it? I can't find it anywhere. They won't really be looking for it, and bang, the bomb will be right by there. So it's gonna be pretty awkward for them to try and defuse the bomb. They won't really expect it to be there, as no one really does. Now, if you're going to be going to the B side, which is more commonly used, a good sort of primary spot which a lot of people go to is by here, and you only have to worry about ruins or construction, whatever you call it. And then secondly, some people often go onto the grates by here. This is one which a lot of pros use because it's kind of awkward to find that there. However, a good spot, I think you can just about get it onto one of these boxes here. I think they may have patched it. I think they've... Oh no, you can just about get it onto one of these boxes by there. A really good one. You could even, if you want to be a bit cheeky, get it like right in this corner by here. People often won't see that if they're sort of, coming through here. And like, okay, where's the bomb? It's not back there. Where is it, sort of thing? Oh, I can't find it anywhere. And then they'll be like, oh, it's by there, and then they'll be able to get the defuse. But yes, that's another good spot to sort of plant on this one. A bad one by here. Expose some coils from CT and also from Banana if they decide to go up there. Not really good. You don't really have too much control on the site, so don't really go by here. I'd say prioritize going back here if you can, or if you have some more time, by here or by here. Now, if you're playing on train, a map which a lot of people don't really play too much, if you are coming from the A site, a good spot to plant is sort of by the back of this train here, or maybe sort of like above on the train by here. It's good if you got, if you're covered from there, and even behind you. You got to make sure you have a lot of cover on this map. But another one where it's where you can plant sort of by here, and even on by here. I think no, you can't quite do it on there. By here is a good spot. One which can be a bit awkward is if you're right, if you're on the other side even, because this is where the CTs a lot of the time will come from. Or if you do have time, trying to get it, I think in this corner is probably my favorite, because they'll be coming, looking around this side, looking on top, check in. You're like, oh god, it's not in here. Running around, they won't be able to look inside and see that and be like, where is it? I can't find the bomb, run away because it's going to explode. So planting, especially in that corner, I think is the best in my opinion, just because it's higher up, and it's a lot harder to see because they got the shadow as well. So that's my little funky spot to plant for train on A. Now, if you're going to be onto the B site on train, there's not really too many good spots to plant on this map. Well, on this side, again, this side of the carriage is good. Anywhere on the top here, even on the inside is okay. To a certain extent. You can, as you see this, like there's this dotted line going around to show where you can and can't plant. I'd say not to sort of plant like in the open, like somewhere by here, or on the corner by there. Anywhere around there is sort of a dangerous place to go. Typically you want to have a bit of cover, so like around there. These are sort of like the primary spots. The secondary, I suppose you could say, is like right on the middle, but that's a bit dangerous and I wouldn't recommend doing that. However, the secret place to go, if you really want to be a bit sneaky, is you can do it in one of these two corners. right on the inside. If you get right up close to the edge, I think it drops onto the inside. Hopefully it doesn't hover. Unfortunately, I think they patched. I think it used to drop down, but you can sort of like plant it on there and maybe hope they don't see it. There's not really a good secret place to plant for this this site, unfortunately. But yeah, primary, secondary, don't go on the outside. Okay, if you're going to be going to the A site on cache, primary spot is sort of around here and also around by here. These two are sort of, they both are primary and secondary because they're used equally as much in my opinion. However, a good spot to plant if you have the time on the cover is going to be sort of like right by here, because if you're in Squeaky, and know that if you know the bomb's planted like right by there, you can get bang. You can shut the door, and you can cover it pretty easily from inside of there. Also, you could plant just on the edge of these the blocks, and it's again very hard to see the bomb if you're entering the site. You're not going to be looking around there. You're going to be looking around this middle section here. However, if you do decide to go to the B site, there is obviously a primary and secondary here. Primary spot is sort of like round behind here, because you've got a lot of cover from heaven, etc. Secondary would be behind this box, I'd say. It's a pretty good one. You can cover it from checkers if you get there in time. Sort of a secondary spot for this one is right in this corner here. If this drops down, that will be good. That's what I wanted to do. Bang, just like that. It's really not easy to see. If you're a CT coming through here, or you drop down from heaven, you're going to be looking up, you're going to be like, is it by there? No. Is it around that corner? No. Is it even by there? No. No, I don't know where it is. I can't find it. And boom, the bomb explodes. And yeah, that's where I'd recommend to plant if you have a lot of time. This is a little funky spot. And just generally don't sort of plant like right in the middle by here. A bit dangerous unless you do have the additional time. Now, if you're on Cobble and you decide you want to hit the A site, the sort of primary spot for here would be just behind this sort of like wooden door by here, and maybe even by here if you have the cover from window. A place really never to plant. In the back of this site by here. It's very open if you're trying to get the plant off, unless you know you have a lot of time. It can be really dangerous from anyone coming from window or walking down by here. Now, a spot where you could go, which probably wouldn't be expected, in this corner right by here. And that's because, well, jumping up here, you're sort of like looking on the site where it's not in the back there. On the corners, no, can't find it, and then, oh, it's too late, planted right by there. And yeah, pretty awkward to go and defuse it if the bomb is, you know, as I said, planted right by there. Now, if you're going to be going to the B side, however, on Cobble, there is a couple good spots, well, common spots. Anyway, around here, this side is typically where it's planted if you know the enemy's around there, and vice versa. If you know they're up by there, planting by here is a good idea. However, planting on the top by here isn't really, because it's a lot more visible than if it was, you know, below the sort of like ledge by here. However, a good one if you have the time is to sort of like line yourself up with this plant pot and planting in here. I think any one of the plant pots it works. This one I especially like because, well, it's just the one right on the edge. People aren't, they're not going to be really looking unless they can spot the flickering edge, like, uh-oh, where's the bomb? It obviously has to come from this side, they can see it, and maybe if you did it going this way instead, it would work. But any of the plant pots are really good for, you know, planting in, because it can be a lot harder for the enemies to spot it. And now on to the final map, we're going to be looking at Overpass. Now, if you want to plant on an Overpass, typically, a lot of people will plant on this side of the boxes. Pretty hard for the CTs to get you from either of these two angles, and you can cover it from long. However, a secondary sort of place people will plant, maybe on top of the truck by here. Now, when not to plant, right in the middle of the site, unless you have a lot of time and you can set up them in tools, for example, around here, and just sort of pop them as they're trying to defuse. That's not an ideal place to plant, in my opinion. However, a sort of sneaky place you can plant is right here, or it's in one of these, I think right by here. If you plant right in there, it'll be concealed by the rock, and the enemies won't really be able to see it, and they'll be running around like, where is the bomb? And boom, it goes off in their face. Now, if you're going to be planting in the B side, however, there's not really too many places. The primary spot is, say, around by here. Secondary may be closer to the pole, like here. However, a place where people don't usually plant is right in this corner by here. I don't know why, but people never seem to plant by here. Sure is open. heaven is a little bit, but people typically aren't really going to be looking at this place on the site. So you could get away with like a cheeky little one, especially if they're down here. They'll be looking, they may be able to hear it, and they'll be like, okay, where's the bomb? Where's the bomb at? And then they'll look, they'll be, where is it? Oh, there it is! Bang! Get the defuse. And so yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video. Let me know if you guys want me to make more stuff like this. I'll be doing well, I know I've got a video coming soon on smokes on train for T-side and getting the A-site. But yeah, hopefully spots help you. If they do, please remember to leave a like, comment down below as always, and subscribe for daily content. I've been your boy vKilljoyy, and I'm out, guys. Peace.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
No.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Shit, I'm out.